Hello, everybody, and welcome to All Things Writing. I am your host, Brian, the writer. Actually, this is not All Things Writing. Sorry, this is 5 Minutes with Brian. Today, we are talking about a book. I'm going to do a book review for you, and then I'm going to plug my own book because why wouldn't I? That's just silliness. Why wouldn't I plug my own book? The book I want to talk to you about today is not a book that, first of all, I don't even know where the book came from. It just ended up in my pile somehow. No idea. It was written by Deborah Lay. Wake Not The Hangman, a novel. Here's the cover for you. Wake Not The Hangman. It's not a book I would normally read. First of all, it is more historical fiction than anything else. It's not horror. It's not mystery. Kind of out of my wheelhouse. But I enjoyed it very, very much. While I am not a big social justice reader, mostly because we get enough of that. I get enough of that in the outside world anyway. I prefer my fiction to sort of take me completely away from the real world, the cares of the real world, and I don't know if it involves monsters and killing and stuff, even better. But this book was different. And I say it was different because it was well written, extremely well written. The story itself was engaging enough that it yanked me through the storyline. It kept me going by the nose. And I thought that was a really good aspect of the book. Deborah Lay did a great job with this. Let me read the back cover for you. Thornton Guthrie works on his father's land at gunpoint. The year is 1834, and the men of the establishment have total control over their kin. Escaping is out of the question. Estranged from his abused mother, Thornton lives in isolation. That changes when Thornton's father buys 3 slaves, William, Ronan, and Henry. Thornton loathes slavery and realizes that for the first time in 15 years, his father and his father's rifle are outnumbered. Thornton dreams of joining forces with the men to plot an escape, but as the slave owner's son, he must convince the men that he is on their side while under the watchful barrel of his father's gun. He decides he has something unexpected in common with the 36-year-old William and hazards a dangerous initial contact, hoping it won't cost him everything. Thornton's bravery sets in motion an audacious escape plan that, through a deadly turn of events, becomes a race against the clock, further complicated by a crafty interloper on Guthrie Farms, Thornton's ill-timed first romance, and the lethal secret of one of the captives. A tale of treachery, bondage, fellowship, and courage, Wake Not The Hangman depicts how one young man's desire to escape his wretched father leads to a much bigger quest, freedom for a band of newfound friends confined by servitude and the law. It's very interesting. One of the things that I think I really loved about this book is it sort of juxtaposes Thornton's own bondage to his father. Although he's a white kid, presumably with becoming a man in this post-Civil War era. He has a lot in common with the slaves in that. In very much a real way, he's a slave too to his own father, and that kind of plays out in the book. I like the relationships. The relationships are palpable. You can feel them. You can feel the way they move through the book. You can feel the relationship between Thornton and the slaves as their friendship sort of grows, and he comes to respect them as men, as people. One he even sees eventually as his father, and becomes his father in sort of a very real sense. Wake Not The Hangman. Definitely not my normal wheelhouse. I'm not even sure how it ended up in my stacks, to be honest. Read it in like 2 sittings, but very, very good. Wake Not The Hangman, Deborah Lay. Can highly recommend it. It would go on my list as being one of my favorites of the year. I'm not going to really have time to get to it, but I wanted to plug Henrico House, which is now out from Jump Master Press. Very excited about this project. It's a great novel. It turned out very, very well. It is available for pre-order at jumpmasterpress.com, and check out the link at the end, and you'll see where to go. Go out and pick up a copy. It's available for pre-order. I'm very, very excited about that. And go out and pick up a copy of Wake Not the Hangman too. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me. This has been 5 Minutes with Brian. Wish we had more time, but who knows? Maybe I'll do another video right on the heels of this one. Thank you very much, and you all have a great day. Bye-bye.